This person should be aware of what it is. I think we can have a person. If not here, then the room will not. Please take the wave again that we are here. Let me just get myself. But she didn't say. So, have you taken the letter? That you room number 3. Okay. Yesterday we missed one class. Yesterday we were supposed to have 4 classes. I just remembered. And actually, the other one we were supposed to have 18 chapters. I remember that very people had already dodged me. And he knew it and didn't remind me. What was that? probably for today you forgive me. But just as I said yesterday, you people, you did very well. Almost all of you. See, just as what I was saying yesterday, you guys, you are so good and so brilliant. Honestly, that's the least I can say. And this lady here, Lorraine, you are very intelligent and you are a critical thinker. You can think and you have full potential. Fine. You need to work on readiness. Yes, readiness. You need to work on your readiness. When I say readiness, what I mean is, when you are writing, Kuma is the point that you were trying to put in so when you are writing, give it all your best, right? Yes, that's right. Give it all your best. But otherwise, my point is, I'm very point. We are I'm not going to be yeah, so that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. That's not really bad. Basically, what I was saying was maybe here is most of the lectures have been finished. So as the tradition, all the results have been put together, consolidated, then by the lecture. So it's like so that's the tradition and all. Okay, so then I have this lady, I'm so now actually I'm doing also my way. In the current number now is okay. You are so intelligent and you think critically, and the time you can deal with the energy of some other can't deal with. When you get time 3, 4, 5 minutes, how much of the time you don't you're going there. So you have all the potential. Come over here, please get yourself organized. You can lose much, yet you have potential. Some big potential. Like these are this one and this one. Very organized. And when I'm so please, next time when you're having whether assignments or whatever work you do, get yourself organized and have time. How we learn, family. Come again about what? Come back. Or something to tell you. Who is one of you? You are grown. A reminder that 5 months. Somebody is giving me 2 months. Just because we don't know Jesus Christ. Anyway, let me just give that 2 months or 1 month. So that is valid for you. Don't do that. Yeah, sure. So now let's proceed. Now, today, actually, we have our course outline. This course outline, the way it was designed, it is too huge. We have a lot of things. Now, looking at the time that is remaining fast to finish the semester, we really need to be a bit faster so that we can catch up. So, I will bear with me. Of course, I will try to share these materials as soon as we finish. Let me try as my prayer so that at least we should keep up the pace. Okay. Now, last time when we were discussing, I remember at some point we discussed traditional logistics modeling. So, just in passing, we saw that traditional logistics is opposed to e-logistics, whereby traditional logistics, most of the things are done manually. For example, when we are to track logistics data on how things are done, most of the time they are done manually. That's traditional logistics. If there is kind of digitalization, is always very minimal. Digitalization in traditional logistics is always very minimal. Now, let us just do a recap of the differences between this traditional logistics and electronic or e-logistics. Now, when you're saying electronic logistics, it doesn't mean that all the logistics activities are done logistically. Are done electronically. That's not it. Because for example, in logistics we have transportation as a function. transportation be done electronically, we do it manually using the tracks and all. But again, there is data that is involved in the whole process. Now, this data are done to be tracked and processed electronically. So, some or most of the processes in logistics are always done electronically. That's why it's called e-logistics. Whereas in tradition, the many things which you also know about it, paperwork, and so on and so forth. So, let us just quickly look at those differences. For example, when it comes to business processes and data management, what happens with traditional logistics and what happens with electronic logistics? Here's the difference. When it comes to business processes and data management, in traditional logistics, data is usually tracked on paper or in a limited digitized form. So, business processes, for example, orders, inventory, transport, and delivery are managed manually or with traditional or old systems. Whereas, when it comes to e-logistics, business processes and data management are automated. Business processes and data management are automated using what? Digital platforms, computerized software, and so forth and so on. So I think you have an idea as in tikali tradition ijinja kuhusiana e logistics. Kina jamii and that is when we are thinking of business processes and data management. Now, how about order management? What happens with traditional logistics and what happens with e-logistics? So, with the traditional logistics, orders are usually received by either telephone or paper order forms. Now, when you are using these paper order forms, what are some of the problems that you are likely going to face? There are chances of having incorrect orders leading to delays. Because now a correct order probably has to be corrected. Then that will lead to delays. So this is what happens with traditional logistics. On the other hand, when it comes to e-logistics, this one it offers faster and more accurate order processing, thanks to online order forms, order platforms, and automation in e-commerce processes. So these days it is always very possible that you process an order. You press an ordering something electronically, online, and the order is also processed to that side. And of course, the deliveries are now done. But now, all what you're doing here, there is no physical paper involved. That being the case, one can still see that this one is really going to be a bit faster, less time consuming, so to say. So things like that, customers can even place their orders online instantly and quickly. So business processes data management with traditional whereas e-logistics which electronically and digitally, order management is most. How about inventory management? What happens? Yes. What are the other traditional? Okay. Here we are saying with the traditional logistics, I will just read out this thing here. With traditional logistics, orders are usually received by either text, telephone, or order paper forms. So we are thinking, here sitting to my extreme left here is saying something. Then I said like this, Madam, you know what? Dimafuna samosa 5. Dimafuna so and so, right? Now, she has read now that one, and then she says, okay, let us process samosa 5 and so on and so forth. Whatever is coming there is done manually. This is the kind of ordering that we say can lead into delays and in fact some errors. On the other hand, on the contrary, rather, this guy here is also saying the same, but the way he's doing it, he's doing things electronically, and I can place an order electronically. I just go whatever I want, then electronically it will send with you and they're starting processing the order the other side. This one is going to be done faster and probably the errors are going to be minimized. Okay, so how about inventory management? With the traditional, we know what inventory management is, right? People of God. Inventory management, we know what it is, right? Since we don't define it, for what you have an idea, isn't it? Sorry? Say something.
The traditional which is logistics. You can say it takes.
Yeah.
Then WhatsApp so online.
Either with the WhatsApp, even is not kind of the e-logistics we are talking about. Though you have spent that text online, right? You have used the internet and everything. But two more, once you receive that text, you have to be processing that order manually. You will do it manually. So this was the fact that you use the assigned space, fine, but you see the message and you process the whole thing manually. Unlike the order processing that is done, for example, some online platforms, like the Amazon and all, whenever you do things, your order is stuff there. There is nobody who receives that message like individually and start processing it. It doesn't go that way. Or our order is very more like before and so on and so forth. So we know the name of German and Tony to go matter of now. Toyota guys, it doesn't go that way. They are those orders are processed and processed. So that's what the difference is. So when it comes to traditional and e-logistics, in the space of inventory management, how do these two behave? So we still remember what inventory management is, right? Inventory management, at least we know what inventory management is. Knowing the stock levels in there, balancing them, and so on and so forth. Now, traditional or electronic logistics. So, with traditional logistics, inventory is tracked manually, and this tracking of inventory manually can create what? Complexity. As a result, inventory losses may occur frequently. We are tracking the inventory manually. Malos and warehouse and can have a lot of problems. One of the problems is it is time consuming. It consumes a lot of time. Complexities in terms of inaccuracies and so on and so forth. So as a result, inventory losses may occur frequently. But how about e-logistics? There is what we call real-time inventory tracking and automatic reordering. So suppliers and vendors can even see each other's stocks, and in case of low stocks, vendors can purchase products with supplier demand. In other words, your inventory is managed electronically, and you are able to see through that the stock levels are going down, and automatically you place orders to replenish the warehouses and all. That's e-logistics. Now, as a result, what happens? You optimize inventory management. Inventory management is optimized in this case. And of course, there is a reduction in inventory losses. More importantly, operations are done faster. The same applies to distribution and delivery. With the traditional distribution and delivery processes take a longer time in traditional logistics. Orders usually take longer time to be delivered to the customers. On the other hand, with e-logistics, there is what we call, and just an example, automatic routing, automation and tracking systems. Tracking systems are done automatically. Let's look at a situation where you have a fleet of vehicles, delivery vehicles that is, and you have the tracking system that you are able to track each one of those vehicles wherever they are going or whatever they are doing elsewhere. With that kind of a system, it is easy for you to know that this track it has a breakdown. Let's try to see it as thanks for that system. But if you don't have that system, the chances are you'll be tracking those drivers or you'll be following up with them manually, and they can lie to you actually. They can lie to you if can happen. So anyway, this tracking, whenever it's being done manually, the chances are higher. There are always those delays and inefficiencies. Whereas if there is an electronic system of tracking these deliveries, it becomes a bit faster and more efficient, and you are able to reach your customers in time and of course satisfy them at the end of the day. How about customer relations and feedback? With the traditional logistics, getting customer feedback and maintaining the relationship is always very difficult. Now, what happens? With this kind of traditional logistics, if you are to get feedback, normally probably you get feedback from via telephone conversations or via what we call suggestion boxes and so on and so forth. Others always say, no, if there is another feedback, please write to us. I mean, all those things, all those measures, they cannot bring the desired results in time. Whereas when you go electronic, electronic logistics, there are always systems in place where the feedback is received in time and acted upon. So, e-commerce operations use digital tools and social media to collect customer feedback and manage customer relations. Now, there is what we call final analysis, another dimension at which we can look at these two differences. That is data analysis and improvement. Data analysis and improvement. So, how do you analyze the data and then initiate some improvements? How do you do this? So, with traditional logistics, data collection and analysis processes are very slow and limited. Data collection and analysis using manual methods are always very limited and very slow. Whereas, on the other hand, using electronic platforms, e-commerce operations can continually improve, and of course can improve significantly. And of course, you are analyzing the data, and you are able to see the results, and you are able to suggest directions through which you can take in order for you to correct the weaknesses that were there and actually bring in improvements. So all these things can be done faster, bigger, and in a more efficient manner. So anyway, here we were only having a recap of what we call traditional logistics as opposed to the other ways through which you can proceed with logistics operations, and that is the use of electronic platforms. So that one is now what is called e-logistics. So to sum up, we find that with traditional logistics, most of the things are done manually, whereas and if there is digitalization, it's there, but it's always very limited. Whereas with logistics, digitalization is what dominates most of the processes. Alright, now let us proceed now about something different. Now, this something different that we're going to see here, we call it logistics center of gravity. Logistics center of gravity. Those of you that are writing this, do so. It will help you along the way. If you have to go off the rail a little bit, force that we gravity. What is gravity? What is it? That's gravity. Okay. So don't run away. Come here. Don't push something. Oxygen. My goodness. That was, what do you think? Gravity. Yeah. Sit down. Gravity, what is it? The sense of gravity. I think all of you did basic sciences. Physics or something. Good. Because I think that one, it was from 1 point to where? Primary, right? No, that's very good. Then I think you already what gravity and gravitational force is all about. You can't remember what gravitational force is all about. Yeah, no, you can say something. What I'm saying here is, forget about logistics here, because if you try to link the two, they are going to confuse you, right? The gravity that you did in sciences and what we're discussing here, if you try to put them together right now, you're going to get confused. But I'm not asking from a scientific perspective. So you need to do sciences. Okay? And you gravity, gravitational force. Falling back. So when you're falling back, there is what we watch, a natural force that pulls objects down to the what? To the core of the earth. Okay, there is this kind of, it's like magnetic force, right? It's more or less like magnetic force, which originates from the core of the globe, this our planet. And then particularly more in terms of the core. So that core is the one that has that magnetic force that pulls objects towards it. That's why when you fly, you go up there, you will still fall down. Why? Because that force is pulling you to that center. So they call that one gravitational force. So if we are to think about that one, what happens? You have demonstrated. In other words, this globe as it is, maybe it's around 10, 1 meter. Pakatika environment by center, kwa mimi napanga sana geography and center maybe but this one the core, right? So if you try to go into the sky into the atmosphere whatsoever, you are still pulled towards that core. It's like that is the center. So that magnetic pull is what others call it gravity assigned to matter. But anyway, that's not what we are concerned with here with this discussion today. Here, now we are looking at the same model of attraction towards the center, but now in respect to logistics. So, it can happen that in a particular situation, let's say some of you people have been to Zomba. Some of you may have been there, or maybe you've never been there, but anyway, at least you know where Zomba is. If you go to Zomba, you find that most of the activities that happen there are good education. So in other words, it is called an education center or education tower. the city is almost full. It's like people from all directions, from different parts of the country, they converge there, So it's like there is something that attracts people there. So it's the center of attraction. And that thing that attracts people there is what we call education now. So we can say when we look at when we are looking at Zomba in respect to education, we can say there is a gravitational force that attracts people there, and that gravitational force is education. That is education. Now, when it comes to logistics, the same also can apply. There can be some centers that can be convenient for some logistics activities in that particular city, that particular area, that particular country, that particular region. That can also happen. For one reason or the other, some areas can be concentrated with some logistics facilities in there for some reasons. So those areas that can be concentrated with logistics facilities and with a lot of logistics activities in there, we can say that is the center of gravity when it comes to logistics. Now, that is the one that will be called logistics center of gravity. So, let me read out this thing here for you. Timazungula concept that this is how we can idea on when we say the center of gravity, in this case, Jimuna Nimaro, I mean, I concentrated who trading and this time around, we are talking about logistics. There are many that they know. More when it was logistics, there is so much concentrated. That one means that's the center of attraction. Whoever is thinking of logistics operations, logistics activities, will always think about that particular area. That is the center of gravity when it comes to logistics. So let me read out something here. The center of gravity is the location with minimum total transportation cost and or weighted distance from all nodes. That's all nodes we're talking about: warehouses, supply and distribution points in a supply chain network. It is a location with minimum transportation cost or weighted distances from all nodes. That is warehouses, supply and distribution points. So, this kind of location that whether you are a distributor, whether you are a manufacturer, whether you are a wholesaler, you utilize that space for your logistics needs. Let's say warehousing or transportation and everything. Everybody in that kind of region is thinking about that area. Like, if I utilize this area, I think I'm going to reduce the cost, and of course the distances will be a bit shorter, and of course our operations will be done a bit faster. That area, that location is now what we call the logistics gravity center or logistics center of gravity. Now, when you are starting your operations, we want to start producing ABCD, or we want to start distributing ABCD. The first thing we start thinking of is how are we going to be transporting our produce? How are we going our products? How are we going to be transporting our raw materials? And if it is to do the storage, where and how are we going to be storing our products and raw materials? Now, before you actually you actually come up with answers to those questions, you do what we call center of gravity analysis. So this center of gravity analysis is also called COG. So center of gravity analysis is one method to find the optimal location for warehouses or distribution centers. Center of gravity analysis or COG analysis is a method that will help organizations and individuals to find optimal locations say center of gravity analysis, it means it's an analysis of something, or you analyze something. What do you analyze in this case? The cost that will be involved. So think of a situation where you are a farmer based on something. Probably there are two things that comes into your mind. Politically, how I'm going to transport this political figure to Musiga. Where am I going to be storing my produce so that Musiga is Kafuniga, somebody can have a family within the last year. Okay? And how about the cost of transporting these things? Now you're asking questions as in Jinga cost. And so on and so forth. Now, by doing that, you want to find an optimal center or an optimal point where you are going to locate your warehouses or where you're going to be storing your goods, so that you answer those questions. Which questions? The reduction of cost and of course the nearness to your market. You want to answer those questions. Now, okay, I think the warehouse is not going to correct fully the maybe my customer. Almost at the same time, minimizing my cost. Now, when you are asking those questions and trying to get the answers, what we are doing there is COG, or Center of Gravity Analysis. So, this COG analysis is used to determine where to build a new distribution center, a fulfillment center, or a warehouse for both finished goods and packing. So, based on the locations of plants and markets, the volume of goods moved, and transportation costs, businesses can calculate the ideal location for the new site. I like this summary, and I believe you're also going to love it. We are saying, based on the location, the market, the volume of goods to be moved, and the transportation costs, where businesses can calculate the ideal location for the new site. Is that making sense? Are you people together with me here? Now, in your mind, just imagine you are distributors or your producers, right? When the producing firms are going to distribute okay? So, based on the locations of plants or markets, which is about to the volume of goods to be moved. Maybe is so much damage based on that one. And of course,